All right, I clicked the button, and that means we are live. Welcome in and welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Going the Distance podcast. My name is Ryan Bonnell, and alongside me is my co-host, Elijah Span. We are back live on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all the platforms for a Wednesday episode, which is something you have not heard in a while if you've been keeping up with us. We are back from the twice-a-week format into the once-a-week format. Just worked out a little bit better with our personal schedules, as well as we're not in football season anymore. Sports are going to kind of be slower, at least on our end, because we're not major NBA hard hitters, as you can probably tell. But alas, back for the once-a-week schedule. We feel like this will let us put a little bit more effort towards each episode so we can have better quality of content, not only quantity. So we are here, and we are going to be talking about the college basketball March Madness tournament. The Final Four is set. Also, we got a little bit of news out of the NFL with some overtime changes and Bruce Arians stepping down. We'll get to that in a bit. And also just a little hypothetical segment, because why not? It's been somewhat of a slow week in sports, so we thought we might as well throw in a little fun segment for you.
Well,
what?
Slower than the craziness of the past 2 weeks.
Yeah. That's true, exactly. It just feels slow in comparison, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, shit's been going on, like...
Oh, it's been going off.
Yeah.
Finally had a minute to breathe this week, so...
And then, of course, we're going to round it off with a Love It or Loathe It segment to end the day. But before we get into anything, be sure to follow us over on social media over at GTD_sports, other than TikTok, where we are at GTDsports.com. You can follow our personal accounts. I'm over at Ryan Bonnell 8, and Elijah is at ElijahSpan19. Be sure to go find all of our content on our website, GTDsports.com. Said GTD a million times, but I will continue to say it until you go and look at our website. You can find all of our content there, all of our other kick-ass podcasts on our network. But for now, you're here with the GTD podcast. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's start off with our highlight and low light from the weekend. A little bit of an extended weekend than what we're used to. So, Elijah, what do you got for us?
Highlight is Villanova making it to the Final Four, because I had a Villanova to Final Four bet. I also have I can't remember the exact amount, but if Villanova wins it all, then I'll get like $400, which would be nice.
Damn, so because I put a future on them to win it all. Did you also have one on the Final Four as well?
Yeah, I had both.
Okay, smart man.
Because it started out with the Final Four, and I was like, well, because I just saw that first, and I was like, well, what's their win it all odds? And it was like plus 1,300, and I was like, well, I'm all over that.
Yeah, we took that together on the last podcast.
Yeah. Well, I doubled down on that one.
Oh shit! Okay.
Because I only did like $20. Then I was like, fuck it, I'll throw in another like 15 or 20. So,
I'm only on like 15 on that one.
Very inconvenient timing though, is because they beat Houston and then their second leading scorer got hurt.
Yeah, dude, tore his Achilles. Did you see that injury happen?
No, I was moving all weekend. Saturday and Sunday, so I didn't get the chance to watch the game, which was really unfortunate.
Dude, I was watching it live, and it looked like he literally just jumped and dove randomly, and everybody was kind of like, "What the fuck are you doing?" But then you watch the slow mo, and you see his right leg just from his heel up, just snap, and it jiggles and just did not look comfortable, did not look good.
And the thing. Achilles injuries are so crazy because I've heard that when it happens, it sounds like
I believe it.
You can hear it snap, and it's like.
Do you remember KD? Whenever KD hurt his Achilles, did you ever see that video?
No, I don't think so.
Dude, he literally just again, just a normal basketball move. It's not like he's doing anything extravagant. He literally just stepped backwards, put his weight on his right foot, and as he put his weight on it, it just snap, and then but it's one of the weirdest injuries because it's so visible, and I guess it's you can hear it too, but I've never been close enough to one.
What would you rather have, ACL or Achilles injury?
Dude, that's fucked. It's like pick your poison, literally. I don't know. What's the average recovery? I mean, the recovery time is about the same, right?
About the same, yeah.
It's close to a year. I don't know, because I know a little bit more. I mean, I don't know anything. I'm dumb. I'm a dumb caveman. I don't know shit about medical terminology and injuries. But from what I do know about football and everything, it seems like ACL is a little bit more impactful long term, because I don't necessarily know how much you really need your Achilles for. But your ACL, you literally need it to change direction.
I've heard. Well, Achilles injuries used to be like career enders for basketball players.
Really?
Yeah, but so did ACLs. But now ACL and Achilles injuries, like, I don't know, science is advanced, so it's a lot easier to come back from.
That's
Kind of like Tommy John's. Now
Yeah.
it's like you have to get Tommy John at least once in your career if you're a pitcher in the MLB now.
Yeah,
So,
especially for the submarine throwing motherfuckers.
But I think I don't know. I'd rather get my ACL torn, dude. Getting the Achilles,
I think so too.
like,
Yeah.
oh, dude, it just. I don't know. I feel like that would just be more painful.
I think I'd have to go with ACL too. I don't know. I mean, either one would be terrible.
Yeah, I agree. And
all right,
then,
what do you got for low light?
Oh, my low light is I literally split my head open last week.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I was working out in my aunt's home gym. My uncle told me that he puts. They don't. I mean, it's a smaller home gym, and they have like a good squat rack and everything, but they don't have like every single machine, you know. So he said he uses a lot of bands for a lot of different workouts, and I was like, oh, cool. And he told me, he like pointed the area, and he's like, yeah, like I use like the pin or something, which is like, it's like circle, and then like it's got a full metal rod below it, and it kind of keeps down the squat rack in place. This big machinery, this big like contraption. And so I was like, okay, cool. And so one day I was doing like back exercises at an angle, and I was like, I'm gonna do some pull-ups or like with the bands, you know. And I got really close. I got like right underneath it, and I pulled, and the thing fucking popped out at a really high speed, and then slingshotted because it was on a resistance band, and those are stretchy, and came right down on top of the back of my head. And I had about inch to inch and a half gash on the back of my head. It had to get 8 staples, and it fucking hurt. It was terrible. And then I was talking to my uncle like 2 days ago, and I was like, yeah, because you told me you put it on the pin, right? He's like, no, I put it around like the bar. And I was like, oh.
Dude,
Cool.
See, the thing that I think of, my reaction isn't like as exciting because I already knew this happened, but like the thing I think about is if you were, you know, just at a machine or at a weight rack next to that and just witnessed it, like, I don't know, that'd just be like, holy shit, did that even just happen type thing.
Oh, dude, because it was bad too. Like I was bleeding from the top of my head like profusely, and my hair was like cased in blood.
Oh my god.
Oh, dude, it was awful. Like when I took the shower after I had to get the staples in, the water was red.
Oh, dude.
It sucks so bad.
Were you ever like, I don't know, because I mean, you did hit your head. Were you ever like dizzy or like disoriented in any way? Or you just were like,
you were just
like, oh shit, yep, I'm bleeding. Like,
I was disoriented, yeah. When it first hit me, definitely saw a little bit of stars, but I didn't have a concussion, and they weren't worried about me because like I wasn't vomiting.
Yeah.
And I didn't have like, I don't know, I passed the concussion test. They're like, yeah, you just hit your head really hard and split it open. I was like, that's cool. Thank you.
Sick. Thanks. Jesus, bro.
So
was that your first time like splitting your head or like cracking your head?
Yes, dude. And like, dude, and it really like freaked me out when it initially happened because like when I watch movies, dude, I watch a lot of like action movies and gory movies and shit, but like seeing somebody bleed from the top of the head, like blood running through the hair and shit, like that scene always gives me chills. Like I do not like it.
Yeah,
so
it's not
having that happen to me, I was like, like
oh fuck, am I fucking dying? Like oh, dude, that would actually be scary. Yeah, you're right. Because my first instinct would be like, holy shit, I'm losing all my blood. Like fuck,
like
especially in the head.
Because when it first hit me, it knocked me to the ground kind of, not like instantly, but I was like, oh shit, like I gotta get down on all fours. And I was like, my first thought was like, I hope I'm not bleeding. And then of course, blood just starts dripping down really fast. And I was like, fuck. And I just threw my AirPods out. Oh, dude. And like, I was like, and tracked blood throughout my aunt's house to get to the sink. And my mom came in. She was like, oh, you need to go to the ER.
Oh, so wait, you weren't at like a public gym?
No, I was at my aunt's home gym.
Oh, okay. See, that makes sense. I was envisioning it like being in a public gym, and I was like, damn, dude, like, did like a swarm of people just surround you like, oh my God, are you okay? Like,
That would have been super embarrassing if it happened.
yeah, that would have been
Public
worse,
gym.
honestly, being in a
It'd
public
have been
gym.
way worse.
Way worse.
Yeah, because then I would like wait for somebody to take me to the ER.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck, dude. I don't know if I can top that, but I will start off with my low light then, just because my low light really is actually no, my highlight kind of ties into it. So we'll start out with my highlight. So highlight of the weekend is I went to Phoenix over the weekend to tour Arizona State, which is where I am considering attending for grad school. And while I was in Phoenix, since sports betting is legal, I got to place my first in-person bet slip, like, you know, the actual little receipt ticket they hand out. And oh boy, it lived up to all the hype and all the excitement that I built up in my head. Because it was amazing. Is it as convenient as placing a bet online and just having an automatic payout? Absolutely not. But is it cool? Hell yeah. So the closest casino to where I was like 20, 30 minutes away from campus, but the Phoenix Suns arena is like a 5-minute walk from Arizona State. And in the Phoenix Suns arena, they have a FanDuel sportsbook, which is like just a sports book, no casino. It has a bunch of TVs, has a bunch of little consoles where you can place your bet, get your ticket. And so my first ever bet was Villanova money line. And of course that cashed against Houston. And I had like $60 on it. So I got paid out like 140. So handing him the ticket and he was like, ooh, money line. Hell yeah, man. And I was like, yes, sir. And then it counts it for him. He's like, here you go. And I'm like, oh my God, that was literally better than crack. Like any drug that you could imagine. It was better. So that was cool. That was a cool experience.
Did you get to drink free beer too, since you were gambling?
It wasn't free, no, but it was like $5. So I mean, I'll take it. And they had a bunch on tap, so I'm a fan of that. So I liked it.
I've heard in Vegas, like if you're sports betting, no matter how much, as long as you're betting and you're watching your bets, you get drinks on the house.
Yeah, I've heard that too in Vegas, that they give you free drinks, which is ironic because of all places, I would imagine Vegas would be like the most strict, like the most hard ass about everything. But they want you to be fucked up because you lose all your money.
Because they want you to fucking tilt as soon as you lose your first bet.
Yeah.
And you're more likely to tell when you've been,
Yeah, a little under the influence, but yeah, so that was really cool. And I will say, if I do end up going to Arizona State, I will be spending a lot of time in that FanDuel Sportsbook. And my low light goes alongside that because as I'm touring grad school and everything, kind of realized I have no idea what I want to do with my life. So that's cool. You know, I'm at that transition period in my life where is grad school really the best option, or should I get a job, or should I just not work, live with my parents, and try and grow GTD for a year, see how that works. But I don't know, man. There's a lot of options. Life is hard, and yeah, it's not fun thinking about it.
Get used to that feeling.
Yeah, exactly. This is like this decision stage is, I used to think like deciding where I went to college, like TCU or Syracuse or whatever, was like the biggest decision of my life. Nope, doesn't even compare to like where I'm at now with like what I actually am going to do. So fun stuff. But for now, hey, we're recording a podcast. We're live, so we're going to talk about sports while we got you. So
and Will Smith.
Oh, actually, yeah, fuck sports. We got to talk about Will Smith first because I mean, come on.
Feels like we're so late to the game though, because literally every person has had their take now.
Dude, it's been like 2 days. What were the Oscars on Monday?
They're on Sunday.
They're on Monday. Sunday? Shit, really?
Dude, but everyone has been talking about him.
Okay, well, I mean, we have to talk about it. I mean, in case you haven't seen by now and you're living under some kind of a rock.
There's no way they haven't seen.
There's no way. Yeah, if you have access to the internet, you've seen this. So Will Smith smacked the shit out of Chris Rock. Basically like a direct quote from Chris Rock. Yeah, he rocked him. Play on words there. But so basically what happened is it was during the Oscars. Chris Rock was on stage. He made a joke towards Jada Pinkett Smith saying, Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. G.I. Jane is a bald, muscular figure. And it was a joke because Jada Pinkett Smith is bald. But The problem in it, or the quote unquote problem, is that she has a medical condition. I forget what it's called, like alopecia, something.
Alopecia.
Yeah, to where
You know what?
she.
You know what it actually is?
Huh.
It's just going bald.
I don't know, because I mean, like a year ago, she had a little bit of hair. Remember whenever they'd had like their red table between her and Will Smith?
It's just a medical term for going bald.
Okay. Well, either way, it is something that is causing her to go bald, like right now. And Chris Rock made that joke about G.A. Jane, and everybody laughed. It seemed like I didn't even understand it until I Googled why that made her upset. But it made her very upset. She was not okay. And then Will Smith, his reaction, instead of tweeting something or starting beef online, no, man's literally just got up, walked on stage in the middle of the Oscars, smacked Chris Rock in the face, and then walked back like nothing ever happened, and then continued to say, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. And then he repeated it even louder, to which Chris Rock was like, you could tell, bro. Here's my thing, was you could tell Chris Rock was debating on ending his career with some sort of like open marriage joke, because he was like, I could. Oh, okay. Like he like stopped himself almost. You could tell.
And then the funniest part though is Will Smith went on to win Best Actor later on.
Literally, yeah. And then his speech is like, I want to apologize to the Academy and all my fellow nominees. He didn't say shit to Chris Rock though. That would have been, I don't know, that would have been interesting. I don't know if it would have helped or hurt his case if he had mentioned it.
I think it came out that he apologized. I saw somewhere, but you can never fucking know these days. It wasn't like, I didn't look into it. I just saw the headline.
Yeah, that was, I mean, okay, first off, before we like deep dive into it too much, whose side are you on? Do you think Chris Rock was in the right for making the joke, or do you think Will Smith was in the right for defending his unfaithful wife?
I'm Team Chris Rock all the way.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, you have to.
I can't believe people are like defending Will Smith, or like, I don't know. The whole thing is like, why would you say something about her alopecia? Like, the dude's a fucking comedian.
Yeah, dude, it's like you're at the Oscars. That happens. They make jokes about everybody, bro.
Yeah,
and that's what hosts do.
Also, too, it's like some of the people supporting Will Smith. It's like, dude, kind of like what this society has come to. Not to get too deep and philosophical, but like, it really makes me annoyed that words speak louder than actions now in the grand scheme of things. And also too, that this was a objectively hilarious moment, and then everyone had to like give their take on like what this says about like everything and like the discourse of America. And it's just like,
oh yeah, I saw people like making it about like, oh, like, Will, how could you do this whenever like there's two black men on stage and like a historically white, organization? It's like, that's true. Great. All for it. But like, what does that have to do with it? It's just two people that did it. It could have been two white people that did it. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, and like, I saw one and it was like, let's not take away the fact that this Jada Pinkett Smith had to smile through what happened, and it's so difficult for a black woman to smile through what they struggle through every day. And I was just like, come on, dude.
It's hard for anybody to smile through what they struggle through.
It's just like, thank you for your service.
Yeah.
On this, we never knew about this.
Yeah, before, I agree.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
So many people
Mrs. Checkmark
on this. Yeah, trying to make it bigger than what it really was. Because I mean, what it really was just a broken man who's clearly going through a lot mentally with his, disorganized marriage and public backlash on that whole ordeal. And then I don't even know if Will Smith was offended by it, because based on the cameras, like, he was laughing at first.
He was laughing.
And then it's almost like he looked at Jada and was like, oh shit, she's mad. And then he got up and did it. So I've seen a lot of pretty good memes and TikToks about like Jada being like, see, Will, you don't defend me. That's why I fuck August. Like, and then he gets up and then slaps. Like, yeah. So there's a lot that can be said about there.
Or have you seen the one where it's like, It's on her TikTok account. She's like, I don't give two craps about this bald ass head of mine. And then people like stitch it and they're like, oh, I don't know.
He's like, are you sure about that? Oh, that's
dude.
fucking hilarious.
And then
dude.
like, oh, what's even crazier is like the conspiracy theories. And that's another thing too that I'm kind of sick of is like, why does everything have to be fake? Like, why can't we just have one objectively funny
Dude,
moment?
there's no way that was fake. Yeah.
But it was like some dude noticed how Pfizer sponsored the Oscars. It was like the main sponsor. And don't worry, it doesn't have to do with vaccines.
I was just about to say, bro, what a conspiracy. Jesus.
And Pfizer is apparently making a new drug that treats alopecia. And it's coming out in like a matter of weeks. And so they were like, Pfizer knew that Jada Pinkett Smith has alopecia, and they set up this thing so that way their drug would get more attention because nobody knew what the fuck alopecia was, and now it's all everyone's talking about. And I was like, well, but at the same time, it's like I don't even want to go down that road.
Yeah, that is such a reach, but if it is somehow true, fucking genius marketing by Pfizer. I wouldn't even be mad that it was fake. Honestly.
There's so many people that think it's fake.
I think all the reactions and everything, it would be so hard to be fake. But in terms of like all-time TV moments, where would you rank this? Because in my lifetime, this has got to be like, or in our lifetime, we've been alive at the same time. This is probably top 5, maybe top 10. It's hard to like think off the top of my head, everything, obviously, so I can't like pinpoint it. But I would probably put it in the top 5, top 10 at least of like all-time TV moments.
I'm trying to think of others. There's probably a couple.
Kanye
of
is
sports
really
ones.
the only other one.
Kanye, could you imagine if Kanye did that today?
Bro.
Oh my God, he would be canceled.
Dude, like, okay.
He would be legit canceled.
Do you think Kanye's VMA breakdown where he was saying Beyonce had the greatest video of all time, or this was a big, I don't know what the word would be, like a
more
bigger
iconic
deal? Yeah, more iconic, I guess. I think personally,
like
I gotta say Kanye. Yeah, I think I gotta say Kanye still, just because, and maybe it's just like longer lasting to the point where now it's like a throwback almost to look back and remember that, but it's hard to say.
I mean, like for forever after that happened, like kids on the playground, we'd be like, Beyonce had the best music video of all time, like shit like that. So I hope this doesn't turn into kids like smacking each other. That would be hilarious. So please, like, if that happens, like, I at least want it videotaped.
Yeah, come on, just send them our way.
Dude, Kanye would straight up have been canceled if he did that today.
Nah, yeah,
I don't call him misogynist. Kind of like DaBaby. Like DaBaby literally killed people, and then he got canceled because he said some weird stuff about gay people.
Yeah, dude, that was really weird. It wasn't even like straight up homophobic. It was just like, dude, what the fuck?
It was weird. It was weird. And then,
guy.
Yeah, he killed people and he beat the shit out of everyone. He beat the shit out of a person at least once a month.
Yeah,
and nobody ever said anything. And he said some weird stuff about gay people, and I haven't heard a word about DaBaby since then.
Hey, bro, you know how they get down in Charlotte, bro?
That's weird.
All right, though, that's probably enough of the Will Smith just non-sports discussion. But I mean, that was just so iconic. We had to at least touch on it. So, all right, moving on now. Something actually.
One more thing.
What do you got?
I said, so Chris Rock has like a tour show in Boston on Friday night. What do you think the first thing he's gonna say coming out?
Oh, it has to be about the Will Smith thing.
Yeah,
it has to be.
I saw that on Reddit, and somebody said, somebody commented, "How many of y'all bought tickets in the last 3 days?"
That'd be a good one. Honestly though, it helped both of them. Like, well, maybe not Will Smith. It helps Chris Rock in terms of just popularity.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, Chris Rock hasn't been big in like a decade, but he's still Chris Rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah, still Chris Rock. But okay.
All right. Yeah, moving on now to March Madness. The Final Four is set. We have kind of a blue blood Final Four, which is interesting based on how much chaos we had in this tournament. But we got Duke versus North Carolina on one end and Kansas versus Villanova on the other. Duke, UNC, and Kansas are without a doubt three of the biggest blue bloods in college basketball. And I think Villanova has an argument now to be in that same conversation just based on their success over the past 20 years. So yeah, not too flashy of a Final Four, but I mean, based on seeding, we got an 8 seed, which makes it a little bit interesting and spicy. But before we really get into it, do you think, and I know this kind of goes back to the annoying conspiracy side of things, but I've seen a lot on it. Do you think it's a little bit fishy at all that in Coach K's last season, it's the first time Duke and UNC have ever met in the NCAA tournament? They've played a bunch of times, like twice a year, quite literally. But now in the tournament, first time ever meeting last year. I mean, it's almost like too good of a story.
Yeah. If Duke wins, if UNC wins, I'll be like, okay, my fears are eased a little bit.
Yeah.
But if Duke wins that, I'm gonna be like, all right, so NCAA rig too, like,
dude.
Okay.
I mean, the thing is, looking at the Final Four, it's actually really hard to say. But who do you give like the best shot to win it all? I would like to say Villanova,
but not anymore
because of our money and our future bets. But I don't know. It might be Duke.
I was thinking Duke.
They
look so good.
They've
I don't
looked
know.
really damn good.
I'm really excited to watch this Duke UNC game because UNC has been on a absolute tear on offense. Like Caleb Love, he put the team on his back for the Elite Eight game. I was watching that UNC UCLA game. I had UCLA in a parlay last leg, by the way.
Yeah.
For it to hit. I love going 2-1 on parlay. It's favorite feeling ever. But I just watched as Caleb Love was just unable to miss a basket and absolutely turned off. Manic too. I feel like every time I look at Manic have the ball in his hands, he makes it.
Yeah, dude. Manic is dangerous. He's also one of those just like, I don't know what it is. He's one of those March Madness players too, kind of. Even though he's like had a successful college career up until now, he just shines.
He's a college basketball character for sure.
Yeah, and looking back at the regular season, they split the regular season series, and it wasn't even necessarily good games. UNC won the first round, or no, Duke won the first round by 20 fucking points, and then UNC won the second round by 13 points. So neither one was super close, but I feel like it's almost inevitable that we're going to have a borderline overtime game in this one. Just because it's UNC and Duke, just because it's the Final Four, just because it's, the biggest stage of college basketball, it's going to be an overtime type. Or, what I'll really get fishy on this conspiracy, if Duke wins this game on a buzzer beater, then I'll be like, I don't know about that.
That's a little bit too much. I think they would know. They'd be like, hey, like, don't do that.
Yeah, just miss it. Just miss this shot, bro. Like, come on.
Or just, well, they would say, hey, don't end this in a buzzer beater because
I know what you're saying. Yeah, they would
red-handed.
find a way. But yeah, so overall, other than the Coach K storyline against UNC, what is your impression of these four teams? Just that the field ended the way it did.
I think these are the four teams that pretty much deserved it. I mean, it's a blue blood, but like UNC was an 8 seed this year. Duke was a 2, but they beat Gonzaga to be here.
Yeah. And Tech. Well, no, they beat Tech and Arkansas, not Gonzaga.
Oh, they beat Tech and Arkansas.
Still good either way. Arkansas is a good win. So.
They beat 2 good teams, and excuse me, Villanova has been level-headed, the perfect example of what you want a tournament team to be, so they deserve to be there. UNC, like I said, just can't miss a basket. And Kansas, I think Kansas is the only one that really has had an easier way to go, but they're the only 1 seed in this Final Four, which is kind of crazy. Because, it's a blue seed Final Four, but there's only 1 seed.
Yeah, you're right. I think Kansas has kind of had a little bit of a quieter run. I don't know what other word to use, but
Yeah.
they've kind of just been quiet. Like they've just been winning their games, nothing special, nothing fancy, but they're a damn good team. And I'm glad that we got Kansas and Villanova. I think these are both like the ideal matchups. I'd rather, for a Final Four, these are the games I'd want to see. But overall, I'm not disappointed with it like some people are just because it's blue blood. I would have liked to see maybe something random like we've had in recent years, like a Loyola Chicago or something just pushing a Final Four run. But it is what it is. And I'm okay with it.
A lot of people have been disappointed.
Yeah, surprisingly. And I mean,
this is a great Final Four.
Yeah, these are going to be fucking amazing games. Like,
yeah,
arguably it'd be even worse to have like an 11 seed in the Final Four because then chances are it won't be as good of a game like we saw with St. Peter's in the Elite Eight. But
yeah, I don't want games like that.
Prediction wise, who do you have in Duke UNC? Who do you have in Kansas Villanova before we get to the championship pick? Duke UNC for me is a toss up.
I have no idea. I think I might just go parlay, like betting wise. I think I might parlay UNC Villanova just because they're both dogs. Money line on both those.
That's a smart play because 90% of America is going to be parlaying Duke and Kansas.
Right.
So Vegas wants UNC and Villanova to win, which is, you want what Vegas wants. Like,
and Coach K making the Final Four already pretty much like solidified it. They can get away with not winning at all, I guess.
Yeah, I think, for legacy wise, I mean, going out in the Final Four is
pretty
can't really knock him for that.
Well, losing to UNC is tougher than losing to anyone else whatsoever.
Oh, this would be so much better if Roy Williams was still here, like for one extra year. The old UNC coach. Yeah, it would have been so much better. But I mean, still. So you're going with UNC and Nova?
For betting, yes, but I don't know. I like Nova to make the championship game over Kansas, actually.
I did too. I think Villanova wins that game.
And then Duke UNC, like you said, like I just want to watch it. I can't even make a prediction.
Yeah, I can't miss that game. That is going to be the game of the tournament. I'm gonna lean towards Duke a little bit because of just the storybook, storybook ending Duke to the national championship game. I can see it happening. I think not only does Coach K want it, but the players want it for Coach K, and you can see that just in the way they're playing recently. I mean, they've been playing out of their mind. Like Duke is a good team, but the teams, like Michigan State, even Texas Tech, they played amazing games and still couldn't get past them just because Duke is playing better. I really think Tech should have won that game. They choked it, but it is what it is. So I'm going to go with Duke, and then I'm also going to agree, and I'll go with Villanova as well. And then championship-wise, I'm going to put my mouth where my money is, and I'm going to go with the Wildcats. Give me Jay Wright getting it done again for, I think, like the fourth time in the last 8 years. Fuck yeah, give me Villanova.
I don't know. I'd be down for it, but I'm nervous now about that Moore being hurt.
That is true.
I'm really nervous about that. But Jay Wright, tournament coach,
as we all know, so
he gets the job done.
Yeah. I was about to say, if anybody can get the job done, it's Villanova.
Yeah. So you go Nova as your champion?
Yeah, screw it.
Fuck it, why not? All right. Yeah.
I mean, I already got my money on him, so it's what I want.
All right, and then, also speaking of just runs in general, we kind of touched on the St. Peter's one a little bit. So again, if you've been living under a rock and haven't seen the St. Peter's Peacocks, you missed out on quite literally the greatest Cinderella run of all time in March Madness. They are the first seed 13 or higher to reach the Elite Eight, which is ironic because we've now had back-to-back years of 15 seeds in the Sweet 16 with Oral Roberts last year and now St. Peter's. And I think the only time before that was early 2013 with Florida Gulf Coastal. So insane. It's almost hard to like grasp how historical it is while it's happening just because you're like, oh, they won the upset. But no, it's nuts. And so my question really is, where does this St. Peter's Cinderella run rank all time? Not only in March Madness, but I mean just in general, just all of sports.
I'd probably give like NC State winning in like this with Jimmy V.
Yeah.
Survive in Advance. Have you seen that 30 for 30?
I haven't, but I know what you're talking about.
That's probably number one for me, just because watching that documentary, like they weren't even supposed to be in the tournament, and then they won the ACC tournament, and then so they got an automatic bid. But if they didn't win the ACC tournament, they weren't going to go. They got to NCAA and like barely won all of their games in the tournament, and then finally won the championship on like the last second buzzer beater. They weren't even supposed to be there, so that was crazy. Good doc though, recommend the watch. But they probably have to be up there, right? Like,
maybe, yeah, it's hard to put a number on it.
Like I'm thinking like Leicester City.
Yeah, Leicester City. Yeah, because that was like the year that Leicester City, for those who don't know, Leicester City won the Premier League in 2013, even though only 6 teams in the history of the sport have won it other than them before that. And they were literally a 500-1 underdog to win it before the season started. No, that was my first year as a soccer fan, and it was like, holy shit. I didn't really understand the magnitude of it, but
I think they were 5,000-1.
That's probably what it was. Yes, 5,000-1. Yeah. It was.
I think it was. Hold up. It might have been 50,000, bro.
The odds were like fucked. Like if you had put $10 on them to win the league, you probably could have bought like a damn car with that money. It was insane, but I'd never really realized the magnitude, just how crazy that underdog run really was until now, where I can look back at it. So I wonder if St. Peter's is going to be one of those things where, like, sure, maybe we're just a little bit spoiled because we've had Oral Roberts and St. Peter's back to back, but in a few years we may look back and be like, damn, like that was nuts.
Okay, so I just looked it up. It was 5,001. I was thinking plus 50,000, which is essentially the same thing. But yeah, so if you bet $10 on Leicester City, you would have won $50,000.
God damn it. Literally just $10 fucking dollars, bro.
That's crazy. I think I read stories about like certain celebrities doing that. I think like Tom Hanks was alerted by his bookie and he put like $500 on it. Because what's $500 to Tom Hanks?
Yeah,
and then won a big fucking.
He won a
big bank, take little bank.
Oh, Jesus, dude. How big bank take little bank? I haven't heard that in a while. But speaking of St. Peter's, kind of just a side note, Shaheen Holloway, who is their very infamous head coach, who's been all over the media, very fun, out there personality. He got hired shortly after their loss by Seton Hall, his alma mater. So, yeah, I think it's a really good hire by Seton Hall. I think it's a smart decision by Shaheen Holloway to kind of move up the ranks, and also, coaching for your alma mater was better than that. But yeah, I kind of feel for St. Peter's a little bit though, because now they're going to be back to nothing.
Nah, they'll have that forever though.
I mean, you're right. They will have, and it's not like they were expecting anything, even though they lost their Elite 8 game by like 20 points, I'm sure they were all like, well, this shit was awesome. Like at the end of the day, like
I don't own a basketball jersey, but I do want a Doug Edert jersey.
Oh my God, dude. Doug Edert is that fucking dude, bro. He is the epitome of March Madness players. Like
100%.
It's just Doug, bro. I made a TikTok about him, and it was like, it kind of blew up a little bit. It was like, have you heard that sound where it's like, I want my daddy? Yeah. I want your daddy too. So I did that with Jaden Ivey, the Purdue point guard. And I was like, I want my daddy. And then I was like, I want your daddy too. And then I cut to just pictures of Doug. And people were in the comments like this, he's not even going to get drafted. What makes him so special? And I just responded, because he's Doug. Like, bro, it's Doug. What do you mean? Like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Grow up. But yeah, anyway, speaking of March Madness, though, let's do a little quick check in. I'm not going to pull it up fully, but let's see how the GTD Sports Bracketology Challenge is going right now. A quick little check. Elijah and I are both not doing great. still,
Nope.
but
We don't need to talk about it anymore.
we don't need to talk about it. Yeah. So now in first place, we got a new first place. It is Rob JD3. And closely behind him is at the helm _223. So, oh God, that's 2-3 is in his 23rd bracket. This guy made 23 brackets, bro. That's not even fair. That didn't even deserve to win. If it's your 23rd bracket,
That's insane.
no way. Okay, well, anyway. All right, and then actually not too far behind is Colin Gray. He's in 4th. All right, well, yeah, that is shortly coming to a close. We'll be announcing the winner whenever the tournament is over for the throwback college basketball jersey. But moving on from one sport to the next, we're going from college basketball now into the NFL, where they have just announced an overtime rule change. Hallelujah, it's about time, but it's not as picture perfect as it sounds because it's just a minor change, not a full rule change. It's only set to affect the playoffs and playoffs only. But on the bright side, both teams are now assured possession in the overtime period of playoff games only, of course. And so essentially the team that takes possession second will have a chance to match or better the other team's first drive. So if the first team finishes with a field goal, the second team scores a touchdown, that's game over. Very similar to college, other than the fact that they don't start on the 25-yard line. And it goes into sudden death after one round. Overall, happy or upset with it?
Yeah, I think I don't think they needed to reinvent the wheel on this one, but I do like that both teams will get an opportunity to have the ball. And then after that, it's kind of like what most people were saying about this rule now, like you have to play defense. After 2 possessions or after each team gets a possession, then it's like, yeah, I think at that point you have to play defense.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm okay with that too.
I'm perfectly happy with these new overtime rules. I think because like it sucks when like in that Chiefs Bills game.
Yeah,
like,
that's the famous one that
immediately as soon as I just knew whoever's winning the coin toss is winning the game because you could tell like both defenses were out of it and both offenses were absolutely rolling.
Yeah, just on fire.
And like there usually is like games where you're watching them, they go to overtime. You're like whoever gets the ball first here is winning the game. And
yeah, based on momentum.
Yeah. So I like it. I'm pretty sure isn't this only for playoffs?
Yes, yeah, it is. It is only for playoffs. That's what. That's the thing is I like it. I totally support it. Have nothing against it, other than the fact that it's just for playoffs. I'd rather them just if you're gonna have a different rule set for the playoffs, that seems weird to me.
I think they stuck with the OG ones for regular seasons because fatigue is a factor, and then injuries become kind of a factor. Like they just don't want guys playing for that long.
I mean, I get that, but my argument to that is just don't be soft. I mean, it's like how much extra time is it really going to be?
Like, it could be a lot.
It could be, but then just make it a 15-minute quarter.
Yeah, could be
like
the full
just still
10
cap
minutes.
it. Just still cap it at like 15 minutes.
I don't know. I'm cool with it as long as they got it right for the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean that is the most important. Yes, but I would honestly also be interested to see them test out something, like how the XFL is supposed to be the league's new guinea pig, essentially for new formats and everything. Why not test it out in a XFL league for a year and see how that goes? Because I don't know if, like you said, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. College overtime rules might be a little bit much for the NFL, especially whenever it was teams like the Bills and Chiefs, where I think we probably would have gone into like 10th overtime because they would have just continuously scored touchdown. So in that instance, I agree that might be too much of a change. But I think if you cap the time limit to a quarter, you give both teams possession, then I think it's fine. Just run it through the regular season. The injuries won't be that big of a factor. So, but it is always hard to argue against like limiting concussions and everything. So I don't know. I like it, but I think it could be a little bit more. Could be better.
I do think one of the better proposals I've heard, which I don't think it'll ever happen, but it's cool to think about, is like one of the teams, and I guess it flip-flops every round. It's kind of like college overtime. It's basically college overtime rules, but the other team that gets the ball second picks where the ball is going to be spotted. So it's like, yeah, you could do the 99-yard line, but you're also, when you get possession, you're also going to do the 99-yard line. So on and so forth. And like, you could pick like the 50 or the 25 or whatever. I think that's really interesting.
That is interesting, yeah.
So, but I think that's more of a pipe dream. I don't think they'd ever bite.
No, yeah, I don't think the NFL would ever go that far out. I don't know.
It sounds right.
Well, with the, I guess we'll only necessarily see these in overtime games, so maybe only once or twice a year. But with these new rules, does the coin toss still have the same or as much impact as it once did?
Yeah, but I think they might want to kick first.
Well, yeah, right? You're right. You are going to want to kick first. You're going to want the ball second now.
You score, they score, then you can just kick a field goal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you kick first on these new ones.
Wait. Yeah. Actually, no, because what you just said was you score first, they score first. So here's the thing. If you get the ball first, if you score a touchdown and then they score a touchdown, then all you got to do is kick a field goal.
Right.
But if you kick if you kick it off and you get the ball second, then you have an opportunity to win the game if you hold them to a field goal or less. But if you end up tying their touchdown, then you're kind of fucked because the other team only needs a field goal.
Yeah, but think about this though. If you kick it off, they go down and score a touchdown. When you get the ball and you score a touchdown, you can go for 2 and end the game.
Well, I mean, yes, that would be a thing, but you also, if you don't get it, you lose right then and there.
Yeah, but I like those 2-point conversions to win it all.
I do too. I'm a fan of those. Go ahead.
I was like, so does it seems like coaches are leaning more and more to that. They're like, fuck it, let's just go for 2 and end it right here. In college too, they're like, all right, we're going for 2 in this game. This is the game right here.
Yeah, my philosophy, and it's a little bit different with NFL because I'm a little bit more of a college football guy. So especially with college football, my philosophy is if you're on the road, you go for 2, go for the win. But if you're at home, you go for overtime and you take the crowd with you. You know, because on the road, an overtime game is much, much, much harder because that's where the crowd is at its best. That's where they get the most involved. So you just want to keep them quiet while you can and get that 2-point conversion. Like I've seen it many, many times in college football work out, but I've also seen it, screw people just like that. What was it? Arkansas and Ole Miss game. Yeah, that was a really good game.
I will always go for 2 if I'm in that situation. That's what I want.
Even at home though, like what if?
Yep.
Dude, I don't know.
My guys against your guys, 1 play. This is the game.
Okay, I'll give you another hypothetical then. You're down 28-7 in the fourth quarter. You somehow miraculously come back and you get a touchdown with less than 30 seconds left, which will send it to overtime. You have all the momentum. The other team hasn't been able to score shit. Do you go for 2 for the win? Just all the way end it? Or do you take the momentum with you into overtime?
Yep. I think their defense is like at that point, you are schooling their defense in every single way. So you could probably run a draw play, run it in for that 2-point conversion for the 2 yards, and
I know.
Dub. You're not gonna get me on this.
If you're schooling their defense, then you could just go drive and score a touchdown easy, right? Because then you're pinning everything on that one play.
Yeah.
What if it's a bad throw or do you slip?
Nope.
Okay, you're all the way. Okay.
Yep.
I don't know. I see both sides. I think it just depends on the scenario for me if I was a coach. But alrighty though. Anyway, enough about the overtime rule change. We'll see how that plays out. Hopefully this season. Hopefully we get another playoff overtime game. But in other news, out of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Bruce Arians just announced his retirement this afternoon. And offensive coordinator Todd Bowles will be stepping in to take over as head coach. So first off, this came out of nowhere a little bit. I mean, I know Bruce Arians is old, but I didn't necessarily think he was, at retirement age yet. So what do you think sparked this decision? Because it seems so weird after Brady just came back. This seems like the time you'd want to stay, not go.
Yeah, it's definitely weird timing. But he's also 69,
So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's
I could
old,
see
but I
that.
thought he had a few more years. Like
I don't know. 69 is pretty old, dude.
it is, yeah. But
And he drinks a lot of alcohol, so
oh, really?
he's probably not in the best health. So
Well, I
he
mean, I
probably
could have
don't
told
do
you
all the
that just by looking
traveling.
at him, but
That's what I'm saying. But yeah, it's really interesting timing because like if he knew he was going to retire, because he texted a reporter like, yeah, it's time. Why wasn't it time after the off season? Like when. But also, they also just announced that Todd Bowles is replacing him.
Mhm.
So maybe he didn't feel pressure because he knew that they would hire one of his guys. I wonder why they went with Todd Bowles over Byron Leftwich.
yeah, I'm wondering, like, if you're Byron Leftwich, are you mad right now? Like, are you upset?
I don't think so. I think I'm wondering it, but I'm also thinking that it's just because he's already had head coaching experience. He won 10 games with the Jets his first year.
Yeah.
So like that's a pretty damn big accomplishment. And then he went back to being coordinator. He wasn't very good the next 2 years and got fired. But probably just because he's a little bit older than Byron, he has that leadership capability, I guess, or he's just been in that position before.
Yeah.
And they're ready to win now. And he's a very good defensive-minded head coach. And probably Byron is just going to work with Tom Brady and focus only on the offense. It's not like Byron's going anywhere.
Yeah, no, that's true. And I just think the only reason I would be frustrated kind of is because, like, Byron has been a candidate for other head coaching jobs for the past couple of years. So it's almost like other teams think he's qualified. So why not? But I mean, that's really just a coin flip between the two of them. I mean, they're both great options, both great coaches. So yeah, I have no problem with it. But I agree just overall with the Arians thing that it is so weird because it would have made 100 times more sense if right after Brady retired, wait a few days, and then Bruce Arians like, you know what? Yep, I'm going to step down. I'm retiring. I'm done. But why wait until he comes back?
I heard there's some tension between Arians and Brady. So maybe
After
that
the
might
AB stuff?
Yeah, I think so. That might be another reason.
Because I know Brady has always defended AB.
Maybe he was just getting ready for the season, and he was like, "I'm fucking old. These guys have got it. They don't need me. Byron can run the offense by himself with him and Brady. I'm out. I'm gonna go to the front office."
Do you think, and maybe this is because I'm a little bit more college football
Or
like first. Wait, go ahead. Sorry.
I was also gonna say like maybe he lost a little bit of the locker room after the AB situation, not just Brady.
That is a good point. Yeah, that is true. Because from what I know, there's not really a great way to handle that situation. But from what I know, like the players didn't necessarily love it. But this kind of just popped into my head just in general with NFL coaching is like, like you mentioned, he was saying, oh, Byron, Todd, they got it. These guys have got it. Like with college, it's definitely more so. Like look at Gary Patterson, like a guy who's been there for 20 plus years. If he leaves, he's not just handing over the keys to anybody. He's going to want to like make sure that the program is in good standing or make sure that they're on the right path or they're going to be able to find the right guy, stuff like that, because, he truly cares about the program. Like it is a part of him. Whereas in the NFL, if you're a head coach, you can play for 3 different teams, coach for 3 different teams in 4 different divisions in 10 years. So it's like, does Bruce Arians really care about the Buccaneers' well-being? Or, you know what I mean? Like, is he really considering like, oh, well, Byron and Todd will do a great job if I leave now? Like, is that necessarily something that would be weighing in on his decision to retire?
I think it'd be different. He'd probably still be playing if he didn't win that ring with Brady in 2020.
That is a good point. True. Yeah. Yeah. That was his only ring, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say he didn't.
He came close with the Cardinals. He went to the NFC Championship game one year, and that's when he got blown out by the Eagles.
Yeah.
Because he went far with Carson Palmer in the playoffs. So, he's a good coach. But yeah, I think he's like, you know what? Health is bad. Locker room, a little bit, some tiffs, I guess.
A little tension.
Yeah, some tension there. And he's old. So I think it might have been all 3 factors.
Yeah, I mean, I don't knock him. I mean, dude's made his money, dude's made his legacy. He's got a ring. Might as well just get out of there. So, alrighty though. That's all there is really for football news. We got a little bit of a couple signings here and there in our love it or loathe it, but we'll get to that in just a second. First, we have a little fun segment to do. Straight up, just hypotheticals, kind of random. We have about, I think there's 6 questions here, covering most of the major sports as to what we would do if we were in this situation per se, or would you rather's, all these kind of things. We'll just go ahead and get into it. You'll pick it up along the way. So, first question: if you compare, this is basketball. First time we talk about basketball in a little bit. So hey, good for us. If you could pair any 2 players in the NBA on your team, who would it be and why?
Luca and Giannis.
Luca and Giannis, really?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, that actually that makes me want to change mine. I was gonna say Luca and Joel Embiid, but you're right. I'd rather fucking have Giannis than Joel Embiid. So, I think I have to agree. Honestly, Luca and Giannis would be the best combo that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's what I would want.
I'm trying to think of a more like true guard like a true guard versus Luca, because Luca is definitely a slow small forward. He's not like a quick, versatile point guard per se.
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe like I think Steph Curry and Giannis would also be nasty as fuck.
Joel Embiid on the Warriors would probably be perfect.
Oh, he would fit in so well there
because he can shoot threes.
I was gonna say, yeah, he can also strap. Dude, because now I'm trying to think if it was like, say it was like Steph Curry and Joel Embiid against Giannis and Luca. Who do you think wins?
Giannis and Luca.
I would think so too.
Just because Giannis is just such a bully in the paint, and Luca can facilitate to that. That would just open up so much more spacing with everyone being focused on Giannis, and Luca is such a good passer. You get in the balls in so many different ways, and that just would open up for other guys to get quick and easy threes or quick shots.
Yeah, true. Plus, if like there's no pass there, Luca could just do like his little step in, like his little fake in and fade away. Like,
yep,
makes it look so easy, dude. Yeah, no, I think that's probably the best answer. Great minds think alike. Luca and Giannis would be the best duo.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on to football now. If you were an NFL quarterback, and this was inspired by the whole Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, everything. If you were an NFL quarterback and you had your pick of the litter at any wide receiver in the league to be your wide receiver 1, who are you throwing it to? There are like 5 answers that I could justify. And it's hard. It's really hard to pick one.
So, I mean, a lot of that depends on scheme.
That is true. Your playbook.
Because Cooper Kupp would be a different choice for different guys, for sure.
You're right.
Devontae Adams would be the number 1 choice for a lot of guys, too. And then D-Hop would also, for guys that like to throw deep balls. So
if I was going to pick, I would say D-Hop. Because although I think Devontae Adams is the best receiver all around, I think D-Hop has the best hands and like spectacular catchability. So if I'm a quarterback, knowing myself, I'm going to be one of those guys who's just like, fuck it, he's down there somewhere and throws it. And D-Hop would make a lot of plays for me. So that's why I would go D-Hop.
I'll probably have to go Cooper Kupp, dude. Just because, like, he's not necessarily one of those guys where he's like, fuck it, he's down there somewhere.
Yeah.
But you don't have to be like that because he's always open.
Yeah, I mean, he's such a good route runner. Yeah.
Just how much better he made Matt Stafford last year he has to be my decision just with that. Like, Matt Stafford has never had that type of the games that he had or just the season like that. And it's a lot of it is due to Cooper Kupp.
Dude, speaking of Matt Stafford, I saw some graphic on the Colin Cowherd show that was like comparing Stafford and Rodgers' legacy now, like career stats and everything. And it's like, if you compare the two, they're like near identical. And it's kind of crazy because Stafford has like never been talked about in the ways that Rodgers has. But like Colin Cowherd, although he has his crazy takes from time to time, he was like, I think this conversation is going to be looking a lot different 3 years from now. Like, just 1 year with him in LA and it's already a conversation. Like,
those blind resumes can be really misleading a lot.
no, you're right. You are right. Yeah.
But also too, I just wanted to say, fucking Colin Cowherd's hilarious.
Dude, he is, bro.
As crazy as his sports takes are, I think he's on the Mount Rushmore of NFL radio guys.
I totally agree. Guys. I think he gets so much hate, but I think he's fucking hilarious, dude. Like, sure, he says dumb shit sometimes, but I mean, whenever you're on air for 4 hours a day, every day of your life, chances are you might slip up every now and then.
Who'd you put on that Mount Rushmore? I think I would go like Skip and Stephen A. Cowherd.
Yeah, those are 3 for sure. Skip, Stephen A. Colin Cowherd,
and then maybe Big Cat.
Does he fall in that realm?
I mean, dude, they're the number 1 podcast
in
sports right now for like 2 years running now.
That is true.
I think he's starting to be up there.
Yeah, I would put him up there. I mean, I was thinking maybe even like Shannon Sharp. Just because he's so funny though.
Been in it long enough.
That's true. He hasn't been in it long enough. I'm trying to think of another one. Colin Cowherd definitely though.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know. I'll stick Big Cat. Yeah, let's go ahead and move on. All right. If you could change one rule about any sport, what would it be and why?
Oh shit.
So for me, I've narrowed it down to 2, and this is a coin flip which one I would go with, but one, it would be that steroids or performance enhancing drugs are legal in baseball so that we can just see dingers and piss missiles all day and have like 15 to 12 scores instead of no hitters. I know all the traditionalists probably hate that, but fuck you. Or no, like there's no rule against fighting in basketball and football. Like you can just straight up fist fight on the court, on the field, mostly in football, because I think it's absolutely hilarious when guys start fist fighting while they're wearing their helmets as if they're not going to like break their wrist trying to punch, Kevlar or whatever. I don't know, carbon fiber. I don't know what it's made out of. But so I would want to see some lawless fights in sports break out just to settle it, settle the beef like hockey. Put them in a penalty, put them in timeout for a little bit, and then they'll be on their way.
I think I would go with no offsides in soccer.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That would fucking either be amazing or it would really suck. Like,
I think it'd be crazy to check out.
It would
it'd be like no building in Fortnite, which just came out.
Dude, speaking of, I need to check that
Game
out.
changer.
Actually. I know. I might need to load up Fortnite again.
I'm downloading it right now, and I haven't even thought about playing that game in many years.
Yeah, like quite literally at least 2 years. Oh, dude, that would be tough because obviously the idea and like the reason that offsides is a thing in soccer is because you want to eliminate the cherry picking, just like the free passes over the top. But like on one end, yes, that would be hard to defend. But then if you just have your goalie like marking those guys up there and they send a ball across the entire field, chances are your goalie's going to be able to get there by the time the ball reaches the ground. So like that would just completely change up the landscape of defending as we know it.
Yeah.
That would be interesting to see. All right, next one we got, and this one is a little bit more of a would you rather. So would you rather be a referee or an official that makes a game deciding call and basically half the fans hate you and want you to die, or be a head coach of a team that loses a championship after being up by 10 points with 2 minutes left? Which burden would you rather carry?
Head coach, because those refs get death threats, dude.
Dude, I know. I kind of want to know what it's like to be a ref, or like after the game, or like even just on social media and stuff.
This has got to be tough.
I was trying to find the ref for the TCU Arizona game. Couldn't do it. I Googled so many different things trying to find like an officials list or whatnot, but yeah, fuck those guys.
Ooh, breaking news. Men's team clinched World Cup bid.
Oh, let's go. Yeah, I was a little bit nervous because
the 6 goals thing.
Yeah. Oh shit, we lost 2-0. Yeah, because if we had lost 6-0, we would have missed out on the World Cup. And literally in our last game, they held up like the banner that said qualified. And I'm like, guys, we haven't fucking qualified yet. Like, dude, like if anybody was gonna blow it, it would have been us.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. But what's this next question here?
Oh, next one. I know you'll like this one. If you could play any PGA golf course, what would it be? I'm going to go with Pebble Beach just because I like the pretty views.
Yeah, I was
Augusta
thinking
would be
Pebble
close.
Beach. Augusta
would be
was
close.
one
Just
of the
because
first
it's
ones.
Augusta.
If I could do the Phoenix Open, but I get all the fans at hole 17 or
Oh, hell
16,
yeah.
that would definitely be in contention. Maybe at St. Andrews, the old course.
Oh, that'd be sweet. Yeah.
In the UK.
Yeah, I watched a documentary about that in my class.
I think I just have to go Augusta, dude. Like it's. I know it's the basic answer, but it's the right answer.
Yeah, I was going back and forth between Augusta or I don't know, like Pebble Beach. I feel like would just be so like surreal, just like the environment you're in and everything. Like, it'd be so cool.
Crazy.
All right, and then last question on the hypothetical list: if you were a Formula One driver, would you rather be the top driver on a shitty team or the second option on a championship contending team?
Second option on a contending team. Yeah, because like at least you're still battling because have a really good car. At least you're still battling for like third and second place.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree. Yeah,
you still be like you'd be in the better. You place better every single round, and like basically all it comes down to is like, hey, you have to let your partner pass. You're like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, that is the thing. It would be frustrating on that end, but
most of those guys know that going into it. Like nobody's signing for Red Bull in the next like 5 or 10 years thinking they're gonna take over Verstappen because like it's not gonna happen. Or same thing with like Mercedes. Like they know exactly what they're going into. They're not gonna beat out Lewis Hamilton. So they know it going into it. Like if you're a top driver on a shitty team, then you're like, why the fuck are we not winning? I'm such a good driver. This car is shit. You get to drive on a badass car. And eventually those guys get a chance to a lot of those guys get a chance to be a number one guy on like a mid-tier team. That was so
no, yeah, you're right. I think after you laid it out like that, I would have to agree a second option on a championship contending team. Just because, yeah, you're right. In general, like even though you won't be competing for a first place like drivers championship, you'll still be getting top 5 finishes just because you're in a really good car. Like, so yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that. But all right, I'm kind of bummed now because we have 2 weeks in between Formula One races. So, dude, it's been so addicting, bro. You gotta start watching them, man. I highly recommend.
I watched like a little bit of the first episode I watched all season 1, some of season 2.
Oh, nice.
Skip season 3 and then watch a little bit of, and then just watch season 4 because
season 4 was about last season. So
which was crazy.
Yeah, because the race that's next is not this weekend, but the weekend after that. It's weird because it's in Australia. The timing doesn't line up. So it's starting Saturday night at midnight for us, which is like Sunday morning over there.
I'm not gonna watch it.
Bro, I'm fucking watching that. Oh yeah, I forgot it's past your bedtime now, old man.
Yeah.
Alrighty though. Let's round things out with some love it or loathe it. All right, you want the first round or me first round?
I don't care either way.
All right, I'll go ahead and ask you first. All right, so Albert Pujols resigns or re-signs with the Cardinals and is now set to retire after this season.
Love it. Feels right. He also did this so he wants to retire this year so he can retire with Yachty, and they're like really good friends.
Yeah.
And I bet you Cards fans probably love it because they get their guy back, the machine. So yeah.
Yeah, I like the fact that he's going to retire with the Cardinals. So, all right, and the next thing, not major news, but actually no, take that back. This is league-changing news, league-defining. This is going to break everything we know. Andy Dalton signs with the New Orleans Saints on a 1-year deal.
I like it for Dalton. It also is kind of funny just because like Dennis Allen is probably not a huge Taysom Hill guy, so that's what that tells me. And he'll probably have to start a couple of games at the beginning of the year too, because Jameis. Who knows if Jameis is going to be ready by then? But yeah, no, I think that's probably the right move for Andy, just to go take 1-year deals and be a backup at this point in his career.
Yeah, I think it's smart for him. But hey, man, James should be scared, man. The Red Rifle's coming for that job. I don't know. All right, and then last out is Malcolm Jenkins retires from the NFL.
Love it. He was a fun watch, even when he played the Cowboys, when he's on the Eagles. But yeah, he's old, so about time.
All right. And switch it over.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah, just a short load of today.
Texas Tech's Kurt Wilson stole home for a walk-off win. Then the next night hit a walk-off grand slam against top-ranked UT.
Yeah, I love this. I've learned this season that college baseball is fucking electric. Like, it's actually incredibly entertaining. And I kind of shame on me for not paying attention to it more in the past. But I've been trying to follow at least the major games, who's ranked, who's winning, who's losing. And holy shit, it was a meme whenever Tech, like, they had this walk-off. They stole home for a walk-off win. And they were celebrating like crazy. And everybody from UT was like, oh, what? They're acting like they just won the World Series. Like, calm down. We play again tomorrow. And then the next day, the same kid that did that hit a walk-off grand slam. No Major League Baseball player has ever done both of those things in their career. This kid just did it back-to-back nights against the number 1 team in the country. Nice. Good for you, Kurt Wilson. I love that. That's fucking awesome.
Senegal qualifies for the World Cup despite having lasers pointed in their eyes during a PK shootout.
Yeah, so I'm going to loathe this. They qualified over Egypt, so kind of a bummer. We won't get to see Mo Salah in the World Cup. But I guess you could say Senegal deserved it and whatnot. But holy shit, I couldn't imagine this happening in any other sport. Like, Mo Salah, Egypt's best player, straight up had like 10 different green laser pointers in his eye while he was lining up to shoot a PK. Like, any other sport in America, they would have stopped it. They would have kicked those people out. They would have found them. Like, that wouldn't be allowed. But it happened, and so I'll loathe it just because holy shit.
Yeah, if I was lining up and I started getting in a PK and I started getting lasers in my eyes, I would like stop and be like, "Yo, this
dude." Yeah, people in the comments were like praising Salah for like playing through it, and like one comment was like, if this was LeBron James for a game-tying free throw, he would stop and not move until like security kicked these people out. And I'm like, what the fuck are you supposed to do? The game's on the line, bro. Like, yeah, like if there's lasers in my fucking eye, like obviously I'm gonna do something about it. Mm-hmm. Anyway,
Juju Smith-Schuster said in an interview that he is done with TikTok and didn't come to KC to be a distraction. Then posted a TikTok one day later in a Chiefs jersey.
I love this because it is just great comical relief. Juju, keep being you, man, just so the rest of the internet can clown you, because literally, quote unquote, did not come to Kansas City to be this distraction. 24 hours later, he is dancing in his Chiefs uniform on TikTok. And that was just one of many. There's now been like 5 or 6 already. So Juju is still Juju. Nothing has changed. But yeah. Alrighty, that is going to be it. Again, reminder, we are back on our once-a-week schedule. I think we're going to stick to Wednesdays going forward. But yeah, if you guys listened on, we appreciate you, and we will see you guys next week. Elijah, any last-minute comments?
Nope. Peace.
Alrighty, peace, y'all.